Okay, to begin with, I want to say this isn't a question I wrote, so the verbiage on it isn't mine. But, okay, it says, in my experience, it is my experience that the county needs a drug court. Are you for or against this, and why? And if you are for a drug court, what are you going to do to make that happen?
Well, as many people, I assume, are aware, having read the paper recently, we do have a drug court here in DeKalb County. And it is an outstanding program that I have been invited and have attended, both the graduations and the drug court itself. The reason many of you may have heard recently about the drug court is because they just received a grant. Not county dollars, but a grant for $200,000 to expand that program. This is an outstanding program. It takes people of this community who have a problem, who made a mistake, and gets them the help they need. It puts them into programs. It gives them counselors. It gives them a family, much like this community already is, so that we can turn around and have each one of these individuals continuing to be contributing members to this community and contributing members to their families. So yes, I am a proponent of the current drug court and look forward to working with the outstanding staff and expanding it in our future.
Let me tell you what you get without a drug court. I've represented dozens of addicts. And what you get with an addict, you represent them when they're 18 years old and they do 60 days in the county, and then they get out. And then they go use, and their mom calls you 2 years later and they say, Billy's in jail again. So I go over there and I get Billy out of jail, and the next time Billy does 2 years in prison. And then I get a call by now probably from a girlfriend. She says, I need you to help me with Billy, he got arrested again. And then he goes away for another 4 years, so before you know it, I'm walking in Target one day and I see Billy. He's been in prison 3 or 4 times, still using. Still one bad decision away from being incarcerated again. So that's what you get without a drug court. You get this highly inefficient, very, very expensive idea of locking people up with drug problems. And at some point, there's a magical day when they're discharged from prison and they're supposed to walk back out on the street and somehow get by in society. The problem is they have the same old monkey on their back. They have the same old addiction. Drug court is absolutely essential. And if I could give a shout out tonight to Judge Stucker, she's been the pioneer here in this county and she's done great work over there running our drug court. You can either spend the money on the drug court and try to solve the addiction, and as Sarah said, try to get that guy back with his family, or you can ignore the problem and you can have this revolving door in and out of prison that costs you a fortune, and in the end, you still have an addict on your hands. And guess what? Addicts have broken families, addicts don't pay their bills, addicts have children that become addicts. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a no-brainer to continue to fund programs to try to deal with the problems people have that cause them to get into trouble, so we don't have to house them in the Department of Corrections.
Okay, and Clay, we will now have your closing remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, our children are our most precious commodity. Every child that's walking around DeKalb County is somebody's hopes and dreams. I have 3 small children. Sarah has 2 children that live here in this county. And I'm here to report to you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, that we have an ongoing gang problem and an ongoing gun problem here in the city of DeKalb that represents a clear and continuing present danger to our children. We have got to step up as a community and save our children. We can't let thugs come out here from Aurora, Chicago, Elgin, drive down here from Rockford and say, it's a nice university town. I'm going to sell some cocaine, and I'm going to drive around with guns in my car, and if I see somebody that gives me the wrong signal, I'm going to start firing. That cannot happen here anymore. If I'm sworn in as your next state's attorney on December 1st, 2010, my number one priority is ridding DeKalb County of gangs. I want to get together with law enforcement, I want to come up with a task force, and I want to put every gangbanger on notice in this county that playtime is over. That if you think you're going to drive on any Glidden, if you think you're going to drive down 38, if you think you're going to come driving up Peace Road with guns and drugs in your car, if we catch you, the state's attorney's office of DeKalb County will bring all the legal might to bear on making sure that individual does not come back. If one child gets shot, ladies and gentlemen, one child, we all bear responsibility because we all know the problem exists and we all have a responsibility to stop it.
Okay, and your closing remarks, Sarah?
Well, as any good prosecutor knows, we love to get in the last word. And that is one of the true joys of being a prosecutor for my entire career. Ladies and gentlemen, when I am elected the state's attorney of DeKalb County in this special election, and it is a very special election, because we need a state's attorney who is going to focus on our community, who is going to focus on our families. We absolutely have a growing gang problem here in DeKalb. It's growing to Sycamore, Malta. We have to get into our schools. We have to be there for our children. We have to educate our parents. And I say we because it is the state's attorney's office, along with the law enforcement officials and the social service agencies, as well as the university, that we are so lucky to have in our community. But we must also focus on issues concerning the family, such as domestic violence, to empower women who are the main victims of domestic violence to come forward against their abusers. We have to be there for the children who are abused. We have to stand up against internet predators. And ladies and gentlemen, we have to proceed with cases of child support enforcement in these tough economic times. There are many issues that affect our community on a daily basis, that affect our families. And as your state's attorney, I promise to protect our children, our families, and DeKalb County. Thank you.
I'd like to thank this set of candidates. Well, we are running ahead of schedule, which is really good at this point in time.